While the previous teaser focused on Steve Rogers' emotional return, this new Thor teaser is meant to send chills down your spine. Until now, people always prayed for Thor to arrive and save them. But this time, Thor himself appears so helpless that we see him praying instead. What exactly is shown in this leaked teaser of Thor, and what does it truly mean? That's what I'll explain in today's video. So without any delay, let's begin, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss such content in the future. The teaser opens in a dense forest, where the atmosphere feels completely silent and heavy. We see Thor, but this is not the colorful Thor from Love and Thunder. Instead, he's wearing a black and gold outfit, and most importantly, his short hair is back. If you're a Thor fan, you know that every time Thor has short hair, his entry in the movie leaves a massive impact, whether it was Thor Ragnarok or Infinity War. What really stands out here is that he's wearing a red cloak and holding Stormbreaker. Comic book fans will immediately recognize this look as being inspired directly from Jason Aaron's Unworthy Thor run. Thor kneels down, closes his eyes, and prays to Odin, a prayer that's enough to give you goosebumps. He says, "Of all the crowns, the kingdoms, the pride, I ask for none. Father, hear your son. I'm not worthy of life, but still I beg you, let the thread lengthen. Not for thunder, not for war. Let me remain long enough to see my love once more." The screen then cuts to text reading. Thor will return in Avengers, to stay, followed by the familiar countdown. The most thought-provoking part here is that Thor isn't asking for glory or victory in battle. He's only asking to see his daughter, Love, one last time. This opens up a powerful theory. Love may not be an ordinary child. She was born from eternity, making her a living embodiment of the multiverse itself. If incursions are happening, timeline collapses are inevitable, and eternity would naturally be affected. But no one considered that Love would also suffer the consequences. It's possible that Love already knew about Doom's intentions and warned Thor, which could be why Doom kidnapped her. Or perhaps Doom needs Love for his mission. This isn't a random claim. If you listen carefully to Thor's prayer, it's clear that he wants to see his daughter again. That's why he asked for the thread to be lengthened. In Norse mythology, the thread isn't a random metaphor. It symbolizes fate. The clearest proof of this comes from the Norns. There are 3 of them, Urd, Verdandi, and Skuld, representing the past, present, and future. We've already seen one of them in Avengers Age of Ultron Trailer 2. According to Norse mythology, the Norns sit beside the world tree, Yggdrasil, and spin the threads of life for every human, god, and giant, deciding who is born, what they become, and how they die. Gods may be powerful, but they are not above fate. The thread doesn't just represent destiny. It's also a limitation, a reminder that control is an illusion. In Thor's context, this scene suggests that he believes his death is near. That's why he prays to Odin to slightly extend the thread of his remaining life, so he can meet Love again, or at least see her one last time. There's a strong chance he already knows where Love is and is heading toward her, but he simply wants to say goodbye before he dies. Now comes the darkest part. It's rumored that in the movie, Thor will take on the role of a guardian and protector, the first line of defense against Dr. Doom. He'll be part of Sam Wilson's team, playing a role similar to what he had in Avengers Age of Ultron. If you remember, in Age of Ultron, Thor made a crucial decision. He used his power to bring Vision to life. That decision wasn't impulsive, nor was it made solely because of Vision. It was a calculated choice that changed everything. If you've seen that deleted scene from Age of Ultron, you'll remember that Thor actually goes to meet the 3 Norns I mentioned earlier, the witches who represent the past, present, and future. In that scene, they tell Thor that defeating Ultron will require a human sacrifice, and that only through the power of the Mind Stone can Ultron be stopped. That's exactly what happens in the movie. Quicksilver dies, and if anyone plays the biggest role in defeating Ultron, it's Vision. The main reason this scene was removed was because test audiences didn't respond well to it. As a result, the movie only kept Thor's Vision sequence, where we see the Infinity Stones fitting into the gauntlet, followed by Vision's creation. This suggests that Thor may once again have a crucial role, bringing vital information that could be used against Doom. In other words, instead of Sam or the Avengers informing Thor about Doom, it's very likely that Thor will be the one to warn the Avengers about Doom. In this movie, Thor won't go on a power-up journey like he did in Infinity War, because he's already immensely powerful. There's an interesting parallel here. Both Reed and Thor lose their children, and in their search to get them back, they deal with incursions and doom, while the Doomsday clock keeps ticking in the background. We already know that Avengers Doomsday is heavily inspired by Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out arc. If you haven't read it yet, you really should, because what happens there is likely what we'll see on screen. In the comics, there's a countdown structure constantly reminding us that in X months/X days, time runs out. That same structure is expected in the movie, showing X months and days until Doomsday, creating a strong sense of urgency and emphasizing how close the end truly is. One of Thor's most iconic comic moments comes when he fights the Beyonders drone army alongside Hyperion and ultimately embraces death so the rest of the multiverse can survive. In the movie, Doombots may replace those drones. However, I don't think any Doombot would be enough to stop Thor. Dr. Doom himself would have to step in. Seeing Thor pray and appear in this unworthy form strongly suggests that he's heading toward an epic final battle, one from which he may not return. This sacrifice would be monumental, Thor giving up his life to give the multiverse a fighting chance. In the comics, Hyperion, Marvel's Superman equivalent, fights alongside Thor in the final battle. But since Hyperion doesn't exist in the MCU, the role could be given to Sentry instead, or possibly Hercules. Remember, we've already seen concept art showing Sentry chained inside Doom's castle, which makes it more likely that Sentry will replace Hyperion rather than Hercules. Honestly, it feels bittersweet. The way these teasers are being released, along with Chris Hemsworth's past social media posts, strongly hint that Marvel is preparing a proper, explosive send-off for both Thor and Hemsworth's journey in the MCU. That said, there's no need to panic. Even if Thor dies in this movie, he could still return in the next one. The MCU has already introduced the concept of Valhalla, and we saw Jane Foster, the mighty Thor, enter it. If Thor dies in Doomsday, there's a strong chance we'll see him in Secret Wars leading the Thor Corps, where both Thor and Jane Foster return to fight against God Emperor Doom. If you've read Hickman's Secret Wars, you know that the Thor Corps served as Doom's police force, made up of Thor variant from across the multiverse. Old King Thor, Jane Foster's Mighty Thor, Beta Ray Bill, Eric Masterson, and even the storm-wielding Mjolnir that we've already seen. Their leader was Sheriff Strange, whom we've already seen in leaked concept art, and it's very possible that our own Doctor Strange becomes that version. The Thor Corps were the most crucial force maintaining law and order on Battleworld. So Thor's chances of returning are just as strong as his chances of dying. It's possible they initially serve Dr. Doom, but once their memories return, they rebel against God Emperor Doom. That's how Thor could finally take his revenge in Avengers Secret Wars, completing what remains unfinished in Avengers Doomsday. There's several other ways Thor could be brought back, but for now, we'll stop here. Let us know in the comments what you think and what kind of vibe you got from this leaked trailer. Also, tell us what topic you'd like to see covered next. We'll see you again in a new video with a brand new topic.